Hey guys, welcome back to the CulePodcast. Welcome back to another video. Special video today. We actually doing a collaboration with the Banter Space TBS. Special
Hey,
video.
hey, hey.
TBS, say what's up.
What's up, man? How you guys doing? Cool ass
Um,
over there.
yes. But guys, special video. I want to do this collaboration. But guys, before we get started on the video, make sure to follow me on all my social media platforms. Everything's posted down below in the description. Go over there and check me out. That way you guys can stay up to date with the channel. But TBS, introduce yourself. Because TBS, he is a Barcelona fan, but he also does YouTube videos on a couple other topics. He just recently made a video about the European Super League. But TBS, introduce yourself, man.
Yeah, man. So I'm relatively new in the YouTube space. We just picked it up with a couple of friends who were like, hey, let's just make some videos. We're like fans of a bunch of different clubs. Like I'm a Barcelona fan. We have
Uh-huh.
Madrid fans, PSG fans, EPL fans everywhere. So I was like, you know what? Let us just make like a couple of videos, get together. And TBS stands for the banter space. So like we just kind of banter around, like we make jokes around. So it's not too serious, but it's a little fun.
And
And I'm looking
no,
forward to this
sorry.
video, man. I'm looking forward to collaborating with you. I've seen your
I
stuff. Check
I
him out, guys.
I've actually seen a couple of your videos, where you invite your friends, and actually pretty funny and everything. And it reminds me of when I actually started, because I made this channel because I used to watch, some other Barcelona channels, and then I wanted to give my opinion as well, and then that's when I made the
Exactly,
channel.
exactly.
Uh-huh. And these StreamYard videos where I open it up so like people can join. I like to make it interactive, because like if there's any other people like me who also want to give their thoughts and discuss, it's good to make it interactive. But the topic on today's video, guys, with TBS, we're going to be talking about Barcelona. We're going to be looking at the season as a whole. Well, up to now, we're going to be giving our thoughts, analyzing the sensations. And so TBS, what are your thoughts up to now on Barcelona's season? How are you feeling?
Oof, man, where do you start, right?
Yeah.
So many things. Like, let's just say it does not really. It's not exactly what I thought it was gonna be.
Hmm.
There's so many issues. I think the main three issues I would focus on is outside of the field, luck
Okay.
with
Okay.
injuries, and therefore,
Yeah.
and also tactical profiles and just basically the team being a little too inexperienced. I think those are my three
Okay.
biggest problems with the team. I'll
Okay.
say starting with like maybe the injuries part. I think it's just insane how many injuries we have, man. Not just this year, last year too. It's one of the biggest reasons we dropped to the Europa League, right? Against
Mm-hmm.
Inter, we had so many
No.
injuries. And I thought it was just a bad year, but going into this year, again, I have to blame the coaching staff a little bit and the physical preparation maybe. I don't know how much physical work we do at Barcelona. At the beginning, Xavi said he did start work without the ball a little bit, but I don't know how true that is anymore. And I just
I
think also based on how young the team is, they do struggle. I feel like to manage the in-game status of their physique. They don't know their body very well, right? They're still
okay.
growing, still getting experience. And I think that harms them a lot.
Well, I mean, looking at Barcelona's season, you can mention like a lot of different factors on why Barcelona are in this situation. But at the start of the season, after winning La Liga and winning the Copa del Rey, you'd be expecting, the season expectations where, hey, Barcelona, they challenge for the league, they challenge for the Copa del Rey, they get far in both of these competitions. And in the Champions League, that's going to be a little bit harder. I don't think Barcelona after last season, we're ready to compete, to win the Champions League. But we were expecting Barcelona to minimum, make the quarterfinals, and those were the expectations, set upon, at the start of the season. But do you think that these, like, expectations were a little bit unrealistic? Because a lot of the discord after Xavi left, which I do want to get your opinion on Xavi's departure,
Mhm.
is do you think like the squad was good enough, or do you think these like expectations were a little bit too high? Because Xavi, he did come on the media and say, hey, I have been under pressure and everything, and just regarding the media.
Yeah, I do think that the standards were a little bit too high, but I didn't expect them to drop this low. If that makes sense, right?
Okay.
I knew it was not going to be a perfect year, but considering Madrid's injuries and I just didn't their lack of striker, right? Their lack Thibaut Courtois went off injured, Militao off injured, and I expected them to like not do as good in the league, if that makes sense. So I'm a little surprised and a little disappointed, to be honest, with the
Yeah.
players and Xavi a little bit. And yeah, it is very unfortunate, I would say.
I did, that's definitely like a sensation that a lot of Barcelona fans have. But Sebi, let me introduce you to TBS. He's another YouTuber
So,
who does football videos. Sebi, he's a regular. He's also a member of the CulePodcast. But the topic on today's video that we wanted to talk about, was like, our thoughts on Barcelona, like throughout the entirety of the season. How are we feeling?
Mhm.
Um, and we basically opened up saying like, hey, how, like, looking at the start of the season, how things are going, it's not going well. Um, but Sebi, your thoughts on that?
I think it's the same as every Barca fan, to be honest. It's just we're not having a good of a season as we thought we were gonna have.
Yeah.
But as I see it right now, I think La Liga, even though it seems far, it's we can still maybe make a miracle, pull through it,
that is
and
very optimistic.
I think we can do it.
Yeah.
It's like 6 points off, 9 points off. It's not bad.
Hmm, I
And then
mean,
and then Champions League, I actually think we can maybe if we get a good result at home versus Napoli, we can pass to the quarterfinals.
okay, okay,
I'm
um,
optimistic now. I think
okay.
I think after seeing the last two games, I think the team's changed a bit, maybe.
A boost of confidence, that
Yeah.
could help. But TBS, thoughts on Barcelona's UCL run and their tie against Napoli? Because me personally, I've been very underwhelmed with how Barcelona were playing. Because the group that we've received was a very favorable group. We had Porto, we had Shakhtar Donetsk, we had Royal Antwerp, teams that they shouldn't be posing Barcelona that much of a challenge. And Barcelona, they scraped through this group. And
Yeah.
there were times, where the opposition were actually far better than Barcelona. Um, you know, thoughts on our UCL campaign up to now?
I think if you asked me this when the draw happened, I would say, yeah, we're in the quarters, right? 100%. No way. Napoli
Yeah.
without their coach, like so
Hmm.
many issues. I was like, yeah, that's a good draw. I'll take that. If you asked me this like a month ago, I'd say, okay, 100% we're out. There's no way. This team is not it right now. If you ask me that now, I'm like, I have no idea. I'm like 50-50, you know? It's up and down.
Oh,
Like I have no idea. I'm
well,
still gonna give it a little bit to us just because maybe I'm biased. I don't know. I just feel like if we lose to this Napoli, like, I mean, what are we doing? Like, what are we doing? Like, at that point, it's up on the players too. Like, you have to perform. Like, it's not just on the coach, on the tactics, on the whatever issue, injuries. Like, come on, you have to step up. Especially 2 years of Europa League. I can't take another round of 16. I need a quarters. And if miraculously we get a semis, I'm good with that. I'll take a
hmm
semis.
and it all depends, on the draw basically, because
Yeah,
I know Napoli, they're doing like very terrible, but they do have very good players. I'm not taking that game against Napoli for granted, but I do expect Barcelona to go through it, just because when we look at the quality and where the two teams are at the moment. You know, Napoli, they're currently a little bit above mid table. I believe they're eighth or ninth at the moment.
really. I thought they were
Yeah,
top four. Wow.
no, no, no. Yeah,
Wow. Wow.
Napoli at the moment. If I bring up the table, Napoli. Let me bring it up. Yeah, they're seventh at the moment. So my
Okay,
bad.
we have to go through now. There's no
Yeah,
like, come on.
yeah, they're seventh. Like last season was a completely different Napoli to now. You had Spalletti, you had Kim and Jay, who recently went to Bayern. Osimhen, he's having a problem with Napoli, and so Napoli's in turmoil at the moment. And if Barcelona they can't beat Napoli, then like guys, what are we doing? And the thing is, Barcelona, they need that money because it's already been set
Yeah.
there, like taken
Mhm.
into account for the season. But do you guys think that we'll be able to go through against Napoli?
I think so.
Okay.
I think so.
TBSU.
I'm
Well,
like 50-50, man. I'm not sure because this team right now, yeah, we've had like good last two games, but I just see it. Like I just see Osimhen like just drop a masterclass out of nowhere. This guy is having a terrible season compared to last, and this
What's it
place
called?
against us goes crazy. I can see it.
What what's it called? Oshiman is only available for the second leg, though,
Oh,
because
really?
Africa Cup of Nations. He's in
Oh,
the
yes, I remember that. Yes. Okay, that's
mm,
mm,
so it's
yeah,
only gonna be the dubbed Maradona Georgian.
which is not having a great season either, to be
I
honest.
no.
think
Hmm.
I think it's a change of coach. Doesn't
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. Their coach was crucial. That was their Pep Guardiola.
yeah.
Yeah.
When you
And
lose that coach, you lose motivation. So
exactly. And Spalletti last season, like giving them that league title after so many years, it was just absolutely amazing.
But the growth
Um,
form is insane. From champions to like seventh, that's unacceptable, Loki.
that affected a little bit of Barca too. Don't you guys think? We won the league, and then the next year after, it seems like motivation just dropped.
Loki
I,
was
I think that
Maradona
has to do with
sacrifice.
it.
well, I don't sacrifice. Well, the thing is that I still don't think it's over because there's still a lot of football left to be played, and Barcelona, they're third at the moment. But the thing is,
It's
this
only 8
weekend,
points.
yeah,
Only
it's only 8 points, from Real Madrid, and Girona and Real Madrid, they are going to be playing against each other this weekend. If Barcelona win their game, and hopefully we see them, pick up a draw, Girona and Real Madrid, Barcelona, they could potentially be back in the title race, and if then we win El Clasico and we win the game against Girona, which is very possible, then Barcelona, they could be back in it. I don't say it's
and I think
impossible.
versus Atletico, Girona, and Real Madrid, there's no opportunity for a draw. We have to win
Yeah.
if we want to get back
Real
in.
Madrid do play Girona this week, and they have their Girona has
Mhm.
their coach, I believe Daily Blind, and another player
Yeah.
suspended.
Best,
Yeah.
sit-
So I
best
mean,
situation, a draw.
Yeah. A best situation is draw.
are they even gonna get a draw? I think I don't know, man. I'm
Well,
not very optimistic on Girona. I want Girona to win, to be honest, because
of
I'm
course.
not optimistic on our chances. So I'm like, let's just Girona take it. I think it's good for the league.
Mm-hmm. Well, what's it called? Either team dropping points, which one of them is going to drop points, it's going to be favoring Barcelona. But TBS now, unexpected, Xavi's departure. He announces his departure. Basically a little bit after like the middle of the season, which is like unheard of. Usually because when a manager's doing poorly, it's the club who sacks him. But Xavi, he said himself like, "Hey, I'm gonna be leaving at the end of the season." Thoughts on Xavi's departure? Well, did you agree with that? Would you have wanted to stay for him at the season? Would you want him sacked a little bit earlier? Thoughts on Xavi?
Yeah, I said this beforehand. I always knew that Xavi was not gonna get to the point where he gets sacked. He has to get sacked, like Coma, for example.
Uh-huh.
I had the feeling that he was just gonna leave his severance package. He was not gonna create trouble for the club, especially in this situation. He's a club man. Like he was gonna do the right choice, and I think he saw midway through the season. Now he saw that there was just no way he could turn this around, and even if he kind of did, what sense do we go in next season and the fan like with the fans' anger, with the fans' pressure towards him, it's just gonna put the team down if he stays one more year anyway, no matter how good he does. So I think he
Okay.
just said, you know what? No matter what happens now to the end of the season, it's just gonna be a bad next year because the pressure is just gonna keep stacking on me. So let me just leave. Let me just get some new blood in. Let the team move on a little bit. And
Okay.
it's sad because I did want Xavi to like continue.
No.
And I really before the season started, I really thought he was gonna get at least two leagues in a row. And it just I feel like it's gonna end a little bit sad, but I think it
Mm-hmm.
has to happen. At this point, it has to happen.
In regards to Xavi, I definitely don't think that his time at Barcelona is a failure. Because like
No.
BBR football, they had that post, looking at ex players, looking at managers,
I
and they
saw that,
labeled,
yeah.
yeah, they labeled Xavi as a failure. And I don't think Xavi's time was as a failure whatsoever. He came at a difficult time. He provided stability. He got us into the Champions League spots, and in that first season after Koeman. In the second season, he won La Liga and the Super Copa del Rey. And this season, the football hasn't been the same. But Barcelona, they made it into the knockouts, which is progress from previous years. And they're still alive in the league, even though it's going to be very difficult. But I definitely do agree that it's the Barcelona, they do need this, like that, the change of dynamic. Barcelona, they couldn't have been keeping the same dynamic that they have been in these past couple of months. And it sucks that Xavi, he didn't succeed the way like Pep Guardiola did, or Luis Enrique, managers who won the treble, who created like an era at the club. But in regards to Xavi, I don't think that his time at Barcelona is over. He could potentially come, and have a second stint as a manager. That's definitely on the
Mhm.
cards. Maybe if he gets some more experience. And now I posted a question to you because there's a lot of people and rumors out there. Who is your favorite to replace Xavi as a manager?
Okay, so I think out of all the options, I was thinking about making a video about this. But I think out
Hmm.
of all the options, there's not a single one that I think is like 100% comes in, does good, except for Guardiola. I don't think there's a
Oh,
single other one. Even
okay.
Klopp, I feel like there is a chance Klopp doesn't fit in with the philosophy, with the way the players play here. Like a Pedri, for example. Is he really a Klopp player? Like, I'm not sure. I think he'll be good. I'm not like 100% sure though. But I think the most sensible is a coach who's experienced enough, who
Hmm.
has winning experience, especially. And I think it needs to be a more German approach to football. I'm looking at a
Okay.
Nagelsmann who runs out of contract this summer after the Euros, and he did just have an interview saying that he doesn't know
Hmm.
what's going to happen after the Euros, right?
Yeah,
So he
yeah.
left a little bit open right there. Of course, Flick is like the most rumored right now. He's learning Spanish apparently. He loves Barcelona's team, like the young players. Like there's a couple German options. For me, I have to go with one with Flick. I think. I
With
think
Flick.
the physicality, I like that. I think he looks like a gym coach. He looks like it's a guy that's gonna take these
Yeah.
players and make them do push-ups, like afternoon double sessions. Like I think we need that. I do think his style plays a little too aggressive. I think when you see his Bayern team, people say it's a counter-attack team. I don't think so. I think it's super offensive,
Yeah.
attacking wing backs, four attackers. Not even a single natural DM in Goretzka and Kimmich. I think it's super attacking team. I don't know if that's going to be good for this current team we have, but I mean, something needs to change physically with these players. They need that push. They need that change. I think may as well do it with Flick. But I'll be okay with Nagelsmann too. I do not want a Mitchell, De Zerbi, a La Liga coach. I'm sorry. It's gonna waste a year. I'm telling you right now, it's not gonna work. We've seen it.
Hmm.
Like these players need like authority. They need somebody in there to be like, hey, listen to me, do as I say.
Uh-huh. Funny enough, Sebi, he's mentioned Jose Mourinho as a
Please
potential.
stop, stop it.
Yo, Sebi,
All
I
defend
that
only
your,
do it for
all
the
that
memes,
defend
all
he
right?
yourself,
said,
Sebi. Sebi,
all
defend
that
yourself.
look.
Oh
All
my
I'm
god.
gonna say, all that he just said right now that describes a manager is what
Oh
Jose
my god.
Mourinho is. Point
Mourinho's
one.
gonna take us to Conference League, bro.
No, point one. First of all, he said he wants a winner. Jose Mourinho, born winner. He
When was the
wants.
last time he's actually competed in the
Yeah,
Champions League?
when's the
Okay,
last time
we're
he
talking
won?
about Champions League, but he has a squad like Roma. How is he gonna qualify to a Champions League?
I mean, there's a
He
reason
couldn't
why he's
even
managing
qualify
Roma,
for
and
the
he's
Europa
He went,
League.
he went from Roma to getting them to a conference league to getting at least European
He has
semi-final.
Dybala, Abraham. He has a good enough team to go
He
Europa
made
League with Roma.
Tottenham go to a cup final. Tottenham.
Oh my
Imagine
god.
Tottenham.
Oh my
They're
god.
shit.
Please. Please.
You know
um,
how shit
The
we
only
are
thing
that
I'll
Tottenham
give
can
you
beat us? How shit
Sebi,
we
I'll give
are
you
right
this. I'll give you this. If you want to go Mourinho, it'll be hilarious. Either way it goes, okay?
now. Look.
But like if you have no other choice, I may as well go Mourinho just for the memes, you
Look,
know?
look, look, I'll tell you right now. If Tottenham was in La Liga, they would be winning La Liga. That's how shit La Liga has been this season and how bad We have been, Real Madrid has been, maybe Girona a close second, but like that's how bad the league is this year.
Ah, man. Who do you think, Elias? Cool podcast.
um Well, for the best Barcelona manager, I definitely agree that the whoever has to come in, like whoever is coming in, has to be experienced, has to have that experience managing, top clubs, know what it is like to win at these clubs. Because at this point in time, Barcelona, they need to win now. After activating so many levers and after spending, I know, like basically mortgaging like the future, Laporta has basically put the situation in where Barcelona, they have to win now. And Xavi, he was that manager where you wanted to build a project, take a couple years, but I don't think Xavi at that time was the right man because Xavi came from Qatar. He was very inexperienced, and he basically had to learn on the job. But I do give him credit, coming into that super difficult situation in the situations that Barcelona in, and managed to turn things around. But looking at the future, looking at the managers who fit my criteria, I once again agree with you. De Zerbi, I'm not looking at him. Michel, not looking at him. Imanol from Real Sociedad, not looking at him either. All these managers who are managing, these good teams playing these attractive football. But at the same time, you don't know if that's going to translate to Barcelona because managing Girona and managing Barcelona, it's two different things.
Very different, yeah.
Yeah, it's very different. The expectations, the demands, because Barcelona, you're not only expected to win, but also play well, to play that attractive football. Um, and looking at that, I do agree. A Nagelsmann would look well. A Hansi Flick, which I think at the moment, just looking at the market, I think would be my number one option. Obviously, Jurgen Klopp would be the dream, and Pep Guardiola as well. But both of these guys are not obtainable. Jurgen Klopp, he wants to take a break after
Yeah.
being burnt out at Liverpool, and Pep Guardiola, he's obviously happy at Man City. Like, why would you leave and join Barcelona at this point in time? And that's definitely how I think things are going to go. I think depending on how things go with Germany in the Euros with Nagelsmann, he could potentially be an option. But I definitely see Hansi Flick being
I
my,
just
my,
don't
my
think any of the options, even Flick and Nagelsmann, are good. Like
Mm,
I just don't like them personally.
You don't like him?
No, because you Flick. I mean, with Bayern he was good, but like with Germany, you can't like.
mm,
Yeah, he was really bad
How
with Germany.
bad do you mess up Germany to not qualify them?
yeah,
No, first of all, like a knockout exit for the World
yeah,
Cup.
I
yeah,
mean, that's their
Second year
second
in a
year.
row.
Yeah,
yeah,
Second year
second
in a
World
row.
Cup in a row. They don't
yeah,
do it.
That's
So
embarrassing. Like you
yeah.
can't do that. There's certain things in football that you cannot achieve, and you achieved it. And
Yeah.
that for Germany is like embarrassing.
No, but you can maybe also, I'm not cutting Hansi Flick like any slack here, but you could also say, like it was that environment, they were already bad. Germany, they were knocked, they didn't make it past the round of like the group stage in the 2018 World Cup. The federation was already a mess, and Hansi Flick was put
I
into
think
a
it's
very
the
difficult
players.
situation.
They're on a decline. The
Yeah,
German players.
yeah, exactly. And then looking at Barcelona, for example, I know we're in a decline, and we're in a tough spot. But I still think with a couple inclusions into the squad, and with the talent that we have coming through, you have Lamine Yamal, you have Pau Cubarsí, you have Hector Fort, Mark
yeah,
Gu, Gavi, Pedri. You have like a very very solid core of Barcelona players who could do something if they're managed a little bit better, and then that's why I differentiate Germany from Barcelona.
Hmm.
yeah. Do you think the tactical profiles that lack in the team really harmed Xavi this year? Remember, he loved
Mhm.
Dembele because he was a
Yeah,
touchline winger, and
yeah.
he needed that width on the right side,
Uh-huh.
and Balde compensated for the left, and
Mhm.
basically Kunde was kind of balancing all of that, being more
Yeah.
held back. This season
Uh,
is kind of like gung ho everything.
exactly. And this is, this is why this is one of my responses to that question. Why is Barcelona's defense now so bad compared to last season? And I mentioned that of the profiles, like the players, they're different from this season than of last season because last season we knew who was playing. We had that 4-4-2. We had back. We had Pedri, Gavi, Busquets, and Frankie Young. That was our midfield, and up top it was either Lewandowski with Dembele or Lewandowski and Rafinha. That was our
Yeah,
team.
that
And
was it.
and this team, the team, the system has been shuffling so many times. Xavi experimenting to say, hey, who's going to be playing that CDM, having Frankie Young and either Gavi or Gundogan in that deep holding midfielder. Gavi gets injured, which I think was the only player who added balance into that team ever since Romeo at the start of the season. He's had that dip in form. You basically have no natural wingers. Joao Felix, he isn't your natural winger. Rafinha, he isn't really that either. Lamine Yamal, he's a most direct player, but you can't play him every
Yeah,
single
you
game.
cannot. Yeah.
Lewandowski, he's declined ever since that World Cup. You basically in the defense, you have basically at the start of the season you had Balde and Cancelo both bombing up forward, and so you had your center backs, left isolated, and with no CDM, you couldn't really hold balance into that team. And so I definitely agree that Xavi, like at some areas in the squad, it definitely lacks some balance. And looking at how our summer transfers are going to go, Barcelona, they are going to have to make big sales in order to bring players in. And just looking at how things are going, um, Barcelona, they should be prioritizing the profiles that the coach is going to need. An actual left winger, a right back and a left back. This is debatable because if Barcelona, they want to take a risk, go and put faith in Hector Ford to be that right back option. Balde, you have Balde and Cancelo, which I do think that Barcelona's going to activate. I wouldn't go for Joao Felix, but I definitely agree with that statement. Um, but I want to hear your thoughts, TBS, on that. Do
Yeah,
you agree with that?
100%. I think I agree with everything you just said, like tactically speaking. Like
Hmm.
last year, it was like Xavi devised a special unit where everything had a role, right?
Yeah,
This year, he lost Dembele, and I think that just kind of made him completely scrap last year's plans and just remake something new. Like especially in the
definitely.
last like weeks, August, right, or September, when the
Hmm.
transfer window was about to close, he just kind of got Cancelo and Joao Felix and was like, you know what? That's all we can do. Just kind of throw them in there and see what happens. And nothing much happened. But
Yeah,
uh, yeah, I think it's unfortunate, man. That's why I can't put too much pressure on him, especially considering the pressure he has from outside, the medias, the
yeah.
Negreira news every week. Like
This
always
is bad.
saying, like, every time we lose, when Madrid loses, there's another Negreira article up.
Hmm.
There's another Tebas interview saying, hey,
Yeah,
like Barcelona are screwed, this and that.
yeah, yeah.
Like all
Like
this
that was just came
stacks
out
up.
recently.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this stacks up, and like I feel like Madrid media. I don't know how informed you are about the Spanish like journalism and stuff like that,
Uh-huh.
but
Hmm.
of course you must know that in Spain it's mostly
Yeah.
Madrid media controlled,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So everything that's
Obviously. Yeah.
positive about Barcelona is just going to be swept under the rug, you know.
Yeah.
And they
Hmm.
know that Xavi, okay, maybe he's not the greatest coach, but he did pretty decent, right? And
Yeah.
maybe if he has more time, he can do better. So they
Hmm.
don't like that, and what they do is they just humiliate him in public. You
Hmm.
know, everything he says, he's like, haha, Xavi making excuses, blah blah blah. Everything
Hmm.
he does is wrong, basically, and I
Uh-huh.
think that affects the team too. Every month is a new player they pick on. It was
Hmm.
Christensen, Balde,
Yeah.
Frankie De Jong, then Joao Felix. They just take turns, and I think
Yeah.
all of that has affected the team a lot, man.
Yeah. The Spanish media is very toxic, and
Oof, the worst for sure.
yeah, it's absolutely the worst. And even Pep Guardiola, he came out into the media saying, hey, the media in Spain doesn't even compare uh
Oh,
to the
no
media in
way.
England. Yeah, because it's completely different. And something that didn't help Xavi is because the reports were coming out that even his family, they are football fans, and they they're just like us. They sit down, they watch like a Girona versus Real Sociedad game. They go down, and they watch a Granada versus Sevilla. And if they mention Barcelona, if they talk about negative about stuff about Xavi, the family knows it, and Xavi, he's very involved in that media, and then he hears the thing that we're hearing, and then that puts more pressure on him, because at times you see him replying to the media and just like in these press conferences, it's not really talking about the football, not talking about the actual game. It's more not like talking about the off the field issues.
Yes, yes,
and
100%. Yes.
and then that doesn't help Xavi, and that puts even more pressure and gets more stress. And whenever you have the Madrid-based media asking you questions about Negreira, asking you about the stuff on the off the field issues, it makes things even more difficult.
Take a
Um,
picture of Xavi before he signed for Barcelona and
yeah,
right now, and it's completely different. The man has gone to 20 years in like a year
yeah.
and a half. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
absolutely. But lastly, closing out this video, TBS,
Mhm.
explain to the audience, to the viewers, just how did you become a Barcelona fan? How did you become, like a football fan, and just, have this passion for for the sport?
Okay, so actually, I started a little bit late, to be honest, but my first
Okay.
ever team was AC Milan, actually. My first
AC
ever team,
Milan. Okay.
long back in the Kaka days, you know? I used to watch them a
Oh,
little bit, but I wasn't like a crazy fan. I watched
okay.
Dino, then I watched Messi, of course, Iniesta, Xavi. That's what like actually got me into Barcelona. And then I'd say like around 2012, 2013-ish is when I started supporting them a little bit. Then
Okay.
2015, I kind of just like, yeah, that's my team, like, you know? Then
Hmm.
after 6-1 happened, I'm like, yeah, like that's my team right there. Ever since then, it's been pretty bad. I think, yeah, it's I came in unfortunate timing, but yeah,
I mean, just look. I mean, that Barcelona team was just like with Xavi, Iniesta, Busquets, like that team was just brilliant. And AC Milan, in the early 2000s, they were just a different beast.
yeah,
Um, but it's definitely sad to see that AC Milan is definitely not up there. But hopefully we see Barcelona and AC Milan both do well in the upcoming years. But guys, thank you guys all for watching. I'll definitely be posting all of TBS's links down below in the description. Go make sure to check him out. He
thank
has
you,
some
thank you.
quality content, some football videos. Go make sure to check him out over there.
I'll be
But
more
guys,
consistent. I'm not very consistent right now. I'm sorry.
well, I mean, hey, like a video a week or two that uh, that will definitely be
Wait,
good.
and yes, one more
What's up?
topic.
One more
What
topic.
what do we think about the blue card situation?
Oh, wait, Sebi, hold that because I actually wanted to make us like the video,
Yeah,
in
that's
a little
video.
bit. But Sebi, quick thoughts, just quick thoughts.
I have played with blue cards
Ah,
because in high school soccer in America you have blue cards.
Really?
So yeah, yeah, you do.
That
So
sucks.
I have a grasp of how it is already.
okay, Sebi, explain.
So basically, a blue card. Well, I don't know how they're gonna do it in like professional level, but a blue card in high school soccer is basically when either the ref doesn't want to give you a yellow card. Wait, actually, hold up. No, a blue card is a 10-minute suspension.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
10 minutes
yeah.
suspension.
So it's essentially there is no red card. It's just a blue card. You're suspended for 10 minutes, and then you can come back into the game. So it's not a red card in a sense at all. It's
Hmm.
unless I would say it's like a, a worse tackle than a yellow, so it's a blue,
Yeah.
or you're just like slamming the ref in his face and all that, like saying bad words, or like you're
Okay.
intentionally like threatening the ref. So you get
Okay.
a blue card and then you get out for 10 minutes and your team plays with one less. But
Hmm.
I think it can be a very good idea so the
You think so?
players learn how to control themselves in the pitch.
Okay. The one thing I personally don't like the blue cards because I don't like people, touching the rules about the game and everything like that.
Me
Yeah,
neither,
if
but
there's already so much, speculation and controversy over VAR, over red cards, over handballs, over penalties,
yeah,
why are you going to include a blue card and make that even worse?
I
And here's the thing: how do you differentiate what is the yellow, what is the blue, and how is the red? Because what happens if I do this? What happens if a team is on the counterattack and I commit a tactical foul? Is that going to be a yellow card? Is that
I
going to be a
believe
blue
that's gonna
card?
be yellow.
No,
it depends on the because this is think about this. This is not gonna be a bar situation or from the higher ups. This is gonna be on a referee standpoint. Like the decision of the blue card is gonna be based solely on the referee and what the linesman sees. So it can be interpreted only in the way as the referee sees it.
Uh-huh. Okay. Well, but that still doesn't answer my question of like, hey,
It
what happens if
depends
I commit
because
that tackle? Am I going to get a yellow card and a blue card and then be down a man?
no, no, no. They can only give one first of all. They can't be like one card and one card. It has to be a single decision, but it depends also like what minute the game is and what type of foul it is.
No, but that's completely stupid because if I'm on the counter
Mm.
attack and in the first minute and I need to
Okay,
pull your
I would
shirt to
say,
make a
yeah,
tactical foul,
I would
it's
say
the
yellow.
exact same
I
thing
would
if you
say
do it in
yellow.
the 90th minute. And then
What I would
lastly,
say, yeah,
Yellow.
I was just gonna say one thing about the blue card. From what I understand, that
yeah,
obviously if you're on the counter attack, the attacker obviously has space and the defender causes a foul, right? I think that's a simple
yeah,
yellow still. But I think what they're referring to is, say you're defending on a low block, right? And the attacker is trying to dribble past, create something, and the defender kind of just nudges him, grabs him a little bit here and there, and constantly does it over and over. But it's not enough for, it's not enough for a yellow. It just accumulates a bunch of little small tackles here and there.
okay,
They're like, you know what, you did this too much. Here's a blue. Sit down for 10 minutes. It's basically
okay.
allowing the attacker to have a little bit more freedom when dribbling through, and basically like not pushing, not letting defenders just kind of be dirty, basically, without
Also,
getting away with stuff
yeah.
with just a simple foul. Now you get like 10 minutes off.
Also, I think they brought in the blue card for more referee safety more than anything.
I mean,
Yeah,
But
I personally think that that's just stupid, and also like I think that the blue card is going to affect with the tempo of the game, because
maybe worse.
whenever a man is sent off, the team plays differently. The
yeah.
team's going to be sitting in a low block. Now you're going to be seeing whenever someone gets a blue card, you're going to be seeing that team drop back and then the team going attacking.
But don't you think
And
the players control themselves more now that they know they
no,
can
I,
No, no.
no, because what's it called?
trust?
It's gonna be frustrating. But Sebi, we'll hold that conversation for a different day because
I
I
want to
actually want to
see,
make a
I want
special
to
video
see like
talking about that.
I want to see a friendly first of like a high competition game like a Barca Sevilla
No,
or whatever, a friendly, and them
no,
let
because I'd still think that wouldn't work, because the only way I would actually be convinced something like this would work is if I see it happening, maybe in like a two-legged tie in the Champions League semifinals, or like a World Cup final, where you see that stakes are actually high, and see how these players react. Because if someone does in a final, I mean in a friendly, it's a friendly. Like
okay.
no one is going to be
Okay,
committing these
so
harsh tackles, or
what?
pulling someone.
Okay,
No,
okay.
like,
What's more important to you, Super Copa or Copa del Rey?
oh, I mean,
Bro, honestly, Super Copa is a joke. I do not
yeah,
care for the Super Copa. Use it in the
I
Super Copa. Let's see.
yeah, I mean,
Use it in the Super Copa. I don't give a fuck about the Super Copa.
uh, well, but guys, we will be making a video, talking about the blue cards, just like, like first of all, saying what it is in like an in-depth analysis, and then giving more our opinions on that. But guys, thank you guys all for watching. I will be posting TBS's links and YouTube channel down below in the comments. So make sure to check him out. But guys, thank you guys all for watching. Thank you guys for tuning in as always. Thank you guys to every single one of you guys who support the channel. And as always, guys, like, subscribe, and comment. I'll see you guys all